Well, I was born at a party in a barn with a guitar strapped across my...
Hello, everyone. Welcome into the Hogs Happy Hour here on the 4-Star Sports Media Network. I'm your host, Blake, joined by Jason and the ghost of Ashton, who is on. He's with us, but just with audio only. So,
Only in spirit, Blake.
yeah, I know. So, anyways, if you're ready for the big game, score a touchdown with your ticket purchase. Use promo code 4-Star Sports Media on SeatGeek to get $20 off your first order. Don't miss out on the action. Grab your tickets today and save. And before we get going, everyone from 4-Star Sports, and especially here at the Hogs Happy Hour, we want to send our thoughts and prayers to the family of Bob Holt, Arkansas legend in the media world. Passed away late, I guess early this morning, late last night. So thoughts and prayers with his family.
Yeah, absolutely. Thoughts and prayers to them. And I was listening to the Buzz today, and just for a little bit, and they were talking about him, and they were talking about him late last night, and they had mentioned that the Holt family was in need of prayers. They didn't go into a whole lot of detail, but he's absolutely a legend. When you talk about, the way sports is presented today in the media age, uh, all you can think about is how newspapers have kind of phased out. And a guy like Bob Holt was able to solidify himself in that role for 20, 30 plus years. It is incredible. So, he's going to be missed, especially by Arkansas fans. He's going to be missed, and then I know his family's going to miss him as well. So, like I said, thoughts and prayers go out to their family.
Yeah, he always had the first and the last question at the at the press conferences. So yeah. But all right, let me find the right button. Here we go. All right. All right. So the Hogs finished 6-6, 3-5 in the SEC. In August or July, if I told you that 6-6 would be an option, most of us will probably take it. But the way the 6-6 came about is not a it's not a good way. I'll tell you that. Hog fans were very disappointed throughout the season. If we didn't squeak by Tennessee, then we would not be going to a bowl game. If Josh Heupel had to figure out a 3-down lineman defense, we would probably not be going to a bowl game and would be very, very disappointed. So, fellas, what y'all's thoughts on that the football season that will continue with the bowl game, but just what's your thoughts on it?
Well, I'm going to make my thoughts pretty quick, and then I'll get off of here. But I had several thoughts. First thought being that at 6-6. Number one, if you do the SeatGeek and you do the promo, you actually SeatGeek will pay you $20 to go to that bowl game that Arkansas is in. Um, secondly, um, I am happy we're going to a bowl game. I'm not happy as to the fact that we couldn't have bettered our position in that bowl game to be 7-5. And the other part of the process is I was speaking to some people concerning whether or not we would look at Sam Pittman's year this year as successful. And I compared his record at this point to the record of Brett Bielema. And the Brett Bielema record at this point in time would have been 29-34. And he was fired.
Yeah.
What is the record of Sam Pittman?
Yeah.
29
Yeah.
and 31. And the people I talked to said, and I quote, that Brett Bielema ran the program into the ground. Yet his record has the same amount of wins as none other than Sam Pittman.
Yeah.
So, I'm not super thrilled with the way things have played out, but I think at this point, all three of us have accepted that we're going to, in fact, get another year of Sam Pittman. And I haven't looked at the recruiting class numbers compared to the recruiting class numbers of former coaches, but our recruiting class is not what I would call exactly top notch. There's a couple really good players on there, especially the flip of Madden, Lavea, from
Good job.
UCLA. Thank you. I've been listening to that name all day, so I figured I could at least get it right. And then obviously signing Tavion Wallace was massive. No one actually, I don't think many people thought we would actually get him signed. So at this point in time, after this bowl game is over, which again I'm not super impressed with the bowl game, it'd be nice to finish 7-6, but we realize now that we are going to have to win big time in the portal this offseason because Sam, I just don't truly believe that the fan base will allow Sam Pittman to survive another 6-6 year.
No.
So, anyways, but that's where I'm at, and I got to get off of here. But those are my thoughts, and I hope y'all have a good show. See you, fellas.
All right, have fun at your party there. But,
all righty.
But, all right. So, Jason, we know Sam's coming back. You know, his hip surgery was successful, which is good. You know, people may hate the man, but he did have, that hip problem, and he did have a successful hip surgery. So that is good to hear. So just what's your thoughts on the season? That was.
Well, I mean, it was a pretty average season. I mean, the games we won against were outside of the Tennessee game, all have pretty bad records. So, I mean, Tennessee was the only good team that we had beat this year. But, it makes me wonder is like, what was our offseason would have looked like if we would have lost to Tennessee and been 5-7?
Yeah.
Would this be a completely different outcome?
Yeah. I mean, I think so.
Early, I think in our preseason poll, I think I had us at like 8 wins.
Yeah.
Which 8 wins, it was a possibility. I mean, OSU turned out to be a really terrible team. We should have won that game. We should have won the A&M game.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of mental mistakes that hurt us throughout the year. A lot of turnovers in the red zone that hurt us the worst. Field goal kicking, that didn't help a lot. But I think turnover problem that we had this year was what hurt us. I don't know if is this the new standard for Razorback football? Is just to get to bowl eligibility every year? That's not the that's not the Arkansas teams that I've grown up watching. Seems to me like our AD is content with just winning 6 games a year. He doesn't want to make any changes. And the NIL age of like football we're in, that's going to hurt us, I think, because some of these people may start pulling back money from paying these players that we need.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me wonder if some of these big time donors actually are rumored to want Sam gone. Are they going to pull their funding?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think with that, the revenue sharing is probably going to help out with some those people that don't want to pay
Yeah,
for
it'll
NIL or
help.
things like that.
I mean, it'll help out a little bit, yes.
But Arkansas is not the only team getting revenue sharing though. That's
Yeah.
that's the thing. Everybody's getting it. So
Mm-hmm. And the problem with our recruiting now is people see that Sam Pittman may have 1 year left. He's got 2 years left on his contract till 2026. But people are looking at he ain't gonna be there, but for maybe another year or two. Do I really want to make a long term commitment to go play for this team where they're going to get a new head coach possibly within the next year or two?
yeah, I mean, as a high school, as a high school kid, you have to be looking at things like that. So yeah, but he may just use the Deion Sanders way and just go out to the portal and get you some fifth year seniors and some seniors that want some playing time and come play for a year and get some tape.
It hasn't worked out for us this year.
I know. Well, yeah. So yes, we don't know the bowl game. I mean, we can speculate Liberty Bowl, Birmingham Bowl. Those are probably your destinations that will happen. Texas Bowl is kind of been mentioned, but Texas Bowl is a is a wish right now. So I think it's either going to be Birmingham or Memphis. Personally, just for driving time and hotel wise, I would like to go to the Liberty Bowl because it's I got family that lives in Jonesboro, so I wouldn't have to get a hotel room. So
I mean, how far is Birmingham from y'all?
I haven't even looked. That's why I feel like if I looked, it might happen. So, but I don't know. I mean, it will be exciting. I think those two bowl games are on the same day, December 27th. So it doesn't matter what bowl. It's probably going to be December 27th, a couple days after Christmas. Now, who's going to be on the team is another question. Because Landon Jackson said he's getting ready for the draft, which I understand.
I mean, especially after his injury that he suffered.
Yep.
I mean, you don't want another scare like that in your very last game.
Yeah. Armstrong, he's going to get ready for the draft. So receiver wise, Isaiah's in the portal. So it's going to be the 30-year-old freshman out there finally catching some passes. Tight end, I don't know who's going to be out there if the rumors come out to be true. That.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I sent to y'all yesterday. So far has been right.
Yeah, Kudus is. Yeah, I mean, he's. I don't know. It's going to be. I mean, every time in the NIL age that Arkansas has played in a bowl game, it's kind of a ragtag group of players. But hey, that the last Liberty Bowl was a pretty exciting game against Kansas. Arkansas had that big lead and Kansas came back but I think it went to overtime, I believe.
Is that the year we had Alex Collins or is it afterwards?
That was after.
That wasn't. Mm-hmm. I mean, we go to the Liberty Bowl so often it's hard to keep track.
Yeah. Well, also as Wes has said, Wes covers Memphis Tigers. The Liberty Bowl itself is going under some renovations, so it's only about 30,000 seats right now. But but the payouts for the bowl, for the Birmingham or the Liberty Bowl, are about the same. So money wise, there's not a huge difference. But yeah, Hogs finished 6-6, 3-5. I feel like before NIL 6-6 would be okay, but now since people are donating money to the NIL fund and people are paying players basically, people expect more. You know, they
Well,
expect
yeah.
more than 6-6.
Well, yeah, especially when you can go out and cherry pick players that you want.
Mm-hmm.
You're not
Yeah,
dependent on a bunch of high school kids trying to make a
yeah.
commitment. You can go into that portal and pick your specific needs.
Yeah, and signing day, early signing day happened. Didn't get a lot of press and
Hmm.
media coverage because honestly, those players may not be there in 2 years. I mean,
Yeah.
or next year. I mean, that's just those kids have that option to transfer out. I mean, if they don't like the situation.
Hmm.
All right, so let's talk about the transfer portal. One that bugs me is Kudus.
Yeah.
Uh, um, you know, he had that injury, and Pittman talked to him. He's like, "Hey, we can redshirt you, but
Hmm.
are you going to be with us?" Kudus told him, "Yeah, I'm all hog. I want to be here." Pittman saying, "We're not saving your red shirt for another university." Well, comes out today. Kudus is entering his name into the transfer portal, which I don't like. It looks bad on Kudus's part. If what he said was true,
Hmm.
we don't know. It was all behind closed doors, but I didn't like it. I don't like it. I don't like how Pittman helps him out,
Hmm.
but now while Pittman's recovering from hip surgery, you're just going to leave him.
Yeah. I mean, he had the opportunity to play at the end of this year.
Mm-hmm.
He would have been a very valuable asset to us,
Yep.
the second half of the season and going into the bowl game.
Mm-hmm.
But instead, he decided just to wait out so he can have more eligibility left at another school.
Yep. Yeah, I just think about Texas. Texas, he would have helped out. I mean, I know he was injured, but he would have helped out with Texas A&M. Those close games. He sat out the Louisiana Tech game because that would have been his. If he would have played that and the Missouri
Hmm.
game, that would have been 5 games. So, yeah, I don't like it, but it is what it is. Maybe. Yeah, he,
Yeah,
he does have the opportunity to withdraw and come back, and stay with Arkansas. It's not like he's going to leave, but it just doesn't look good um, for
well,
for Kudus.
yeah. But on the flip side of that, did you see the quarterback from Conway area that committed to
Yeah,
us,
Grayson. Yeah, Grayson.
where he said he didn't? They told
Yeah,
him he was the only
yeah,
quarterback they were looking at, and
yeah,
end up. I'm not going to attempt to say his name.
yeah. Old Madden. We'll
Yeah,
call him Madden. Yeah, I mean it's not good to tell your home state quarterback, "Hey, we're not going to take anyone," and then surprise, which I don't know if any. I'm sure the Arkansas coaches knew, but they probably didn't want to get it out there that
hmm,
he was flipping from UCLA to Arkansas. But here's the thing. I mean, don't be scared of competition either.
oh
I
yeah,
mean, I mean,
oh yeah,
Madden he didn't get to play his senior year in California because
hmm,
of transfer rules. So he still kept that 4-star status, but all his highlights and all that are from his junior year. But yeah, I mean, they could both get up there, and whoever eventually might be the starter.
yeah.
You have the opportunity to transfer out if you don't like it.
Now, interesting game now is next year is Arkansas at Tennessee.
Yeah, yeah, gonna be the Mi Leva brothers, I guess is how you say it. But yeah, I'm not. That's but as Arkansas fans, we probably need to get used to saying his name. But it's a
Um,
decent quarterback room now. Um, you know, um, Singleton transferred out, which was very expected. He wants to play, and
mhm.
Talon, Talon coming back, he's not going to probably have that opportunity. So I don't blame him one bit. I just hope he doesn't go somewhere and is very very successful, and
Yeah.
Talon Green maybe has another bad year next year, and we're like, oh well, that's what we could have had.
Well, yeah. Was it just like Satania?
Yeah. Now I really don't blame him for leaving either because I
No.
think
I
he
mean,
he was originally committed to A&M and then was committed to Oregon, and now he
hmm,
eventually committed to Arkansas. But
but
I
he
don't
didn't
blame
get targeted much at all
him.
this year. And honestly, him on special teams was actually kind of scary. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
there were a few times where he did drop the ball,
Yep.
on a punt return.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yes, he's fast and athletic, but to me, it's not a huge loss.
No. But I look at it for him. He sees Armstrong's going to the
Hmm.
draft. He was going to be the guy next year at an
Yeah.
ACC school, at his hometown ACC school. But I found this out this morning. His dad is a track coach at Texas A&M, so
Mm.
he might originally go back to Texas A&M. That's just.
Or watch him end up at Oregon.
I mean, he was. I mean, heck, I mean, Oregon's number one. To
Mhm.
me, the best team in the nation, and he could have been on that team, and probably would put up a better numbers than he has while he's been at Arkansas.
But yeah, he needs an actual quarterback, like a true passing quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Green is not
Yeah,
a traditional just passing
no,
quarterback.
yeah. Green's best throws are when he's being chased by 5 people and throws it across his body.
Hmm.
You know,
Hoping that Armstrong's down there.
yeah, that's what Taylor's going to miss that next year
Hmm.
because Armstrong was his safety blanket. He just F it, Armstrong's down there
Hmm.
somewhere, type of throws. But I will say, I think Armstrong's going to have a very successful NFL career. Probably the best, out of all the great receivers that's been at Arkansas, he'll probably have the best pro career. I just think
Oh yeah,
the way he plays is set up for the pro game.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, he'll be better than most recent one Burks, but
Mm-hmm.
Burks just couldn't stay healthy.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
Armstrong doesn't play like he does, so I think
Yep.
he will have a good NFL career.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And Armstrong, we don't want to forget, he ended the season leading the SEC in yards.
Hmm.
That's without playing UAPB. He could have put up some
Yeah,
massive numbers against UAPB, but he didn't. So all that was in 11 games. So for people that say Talon's cannot get receivers the ball, well, he found Armstrong quite a bit, but losing him is going to hurt. Arkansas
hmm,
needs to target whoever the best receivers are in the portal and pay them whatever amount of money they want because we don't have nobody.
yeah. Well, we did get like the top or second number two kicker in the
Yeah,
recruiting
hey, well,
class.
hey, we need them. We need, we need them because kicking was not enjoyable last year. But
No.
all right, so signing day, just a few. We've pretty much already talked about it. Madden, Nico's brother. He flipped Wallace. He was a good get. I think depending on who you look at, we're like the 13th ranked in the SEC. I think like 27th overall. So that's about average. You're not going to outbid some of these teams for these players.
Oh yeah, I mean the offensive lineman that we lost to Ole Miss hurt.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean
yeah,
that is a position that we need
hmm
people in, and having a
yeah,
4-star flip to your rival Mississippi
yeah,
or Ole Miss,
hmm
that would hurt.
yeah. It's hurt, but outside of Kudus, so far all of our linemen are returning, which I don't know if that's a good or bad thing.
So,
But being together as a line is having the same guy beside you. It
mhm.
it, it does help out
Oh
in the
yeah,
long run.
yeah, a whole
And
nother
sec
year. So a whole nother year in the weight
yeah
room. Hopefully, they can put on some
yeah
more muscle mass. So,
yeah. And second year under offensive line coach. Second year under Petrino.
mhm.
So far, we're assuming Petrino's going to return. He took his name out from the Charlotte
Yeah,
head job. But yeah, so football, it's that weird time of year where the portal opens and early signing day and potential bowl preps are going on and hip surgeries and so far, I guess the coaching staff, every one of them will be retained. I haven't really heard anything. Travis Williams, his name was mentioned out there for a couple defensive coordinator jobs, but I think he's all hog. Most of those
yeah,
contracts, most of those assistant coaches' contracts expire after next football season. So if you have to do a wholesale change, you won't really have any buyouts or anything like that. So it's going to save some money, which in my eyes is probably what Hunter Yurchek's looking at. Just one more year of kind of 6-6, 7-5.
Well,
Just
if he's here to even make that decision.
I don't know, yeah. And he was rumored to go to South Carolina. He is not now. They're hiring the TCU athletic director.
So now watch his name show up for TCU.
I know. Yeah, his name's he was mentioned in another job too. I don't remember which one it was.
It was
A&M. Yeah. So I guess people outside of Arkansas love him, but a lot of folks inside Arkansas do not. But, let's go to basketball. They picked up a road win against Miami in the SEC ACC Challenge, which SEC, I think they won 14 games and ACC won 2, which is, people say SEC is not a basketball conference. Well, I think it is this year.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people, you can watch ESPN. They're talking about this is probably a 10-bid league, so it's going to be a tough conference season.
Mm-hmm. It may be a sad season or conference season for us. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll be honest, it's not enjoyable to watch them right now. Boogie Flan, he kind of took over those last 3 minutes of that game on Tuesday, which was good to see. But he is a freshman, so maybe he's learning how to close out games and things like that. But yeah, it's just our problem is we're not healthy.
Yeah.
Big Z injured his ankle in practice, so that's another injury. John L. He's injured too, so it's just injuries everywhere.
But yeah, I wonder how much of this Cal not playing, a lot of his bench has to do with, is he trying to condition, 5 to 7 main guys for playing a whole game?
Yeah, I don't. I think and Brazil coming back has helped, and Adu, but Adu is just not. He's not in basketball shape just yet. It's going to take a while. He had, in fact, it come out. He had surgery like right before the basketball season started, so he's definitely trying to work his way back in. But as if anybody that's played a sport knows, you can't just go out there and play 25 minutes. He's going to have to condition himself. Good thing is this is the non-conference schedule. Over Thanksgiving break, they played Illinois and got down early, 11-0, and really couldn't recover from that. Ended up losing by 8. So it was.
We got down early tough in the Miami game too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But we didn't get that far behind like we did the Illinois game.
Yeah, we were down by I think 8 or 6 at half, and so ended up winning it. Which I was happy to see was we figured out how to close out a game.
Yeah.
So we got those rebounds, hit the 3.
To me though, if this was a must team, I don't think they would have clawed back and won.
No.
That's one thing I didn't see from Muss's team was when they got down, they stayed down. They didn't hardly fight back at all. So that was nice to see that during that Miami game that they never gave up.
Yep. Yeah, Cal said if you're subscribed to Hogs Plus, there's a little show they do. He basically said either you're in the game to win or you're going to sit on the bench, and that's it's tough when you got freshmen out there, true freshmen who have they're not used to the college game. So he's Cal said he's having to coach more than he's wanted to basically. So, but he's a Hall of Famer though. He can do it.
Oh yeah, let's not forget that he had 2 players left on this team when he got here, a walk-on and Brazil.
Yeah,
that's all he had left. So he had to assemble this team in a short amount of time at that.
Yep.
Because Musselman, he left us late in the recruiting season.
Yep.
I think that's what most people didn't like about Muss leaving was how late that he left. Calipari, I think he's done a good job getting a team together, but now it's getting them to play as a team.
Mm-hmm.
He has to figure out which guys he can rely on. And our shooting has got to improve.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's bad. I mean, it's bad when your center is your best 3-point shooter right now. But they'll learn. Next
Oh,
is
yeah.
Saturday at 1:00. UTSA comes to Bud Walton Arena. I believe it's not the Little Rock game yet.
No, Little
No. Yeah.
we play. Well, actually, it's at Michigan too, so that's
Yeah. So
that may be a good game.
yeah, but yeah, conference season is going to be tough. I mean, I think if Arkansas can get the 20 wins, I think that will put them into the tournament.
Mhm.
You know,
Oh, yeah. We start out with
yeah,
a hard conference schedule. We start out with against Tennessee, Ole Miss, Florida, then
hmm
LSU.
yeah. Those are some of your top teams right now. And
Yeah.
my fear, which I know it's going to happen. These freshmen haven't stepped into an arena where
Hmm.
12,000, 14,000 people just absolutely hate you,
Yeah.
and they're going to boo your guts and cheer against you. Those freshmen haven't really experienced that. They experienced in the Kansas the scrimmage, but it was for them. I
Yeah.
don't know how they're going to do it when it's against them.
They will January 4th when we go to Tennessee to play.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, with Adu, Adu
Hmm.
returning, turning back. I'm sure they will. I'm sure they will cheer for him. That's you know. And February 1st is, I think February 1st is a game every college basketball fan will be watching when
Yeah.
Cal makes his return to Kentucky. Which, speaking of Kentucky, they did end up losing to Clemson, but we're not Matt
Well,
Jones with Kentucky Sports Radio. We don't care. We don't care. All right, let's finish it up with some SEC talk. SEC championship is this Saturday. What everyone expected: Georgia and Texas.
mhm.
Georgia beat them earlier in the season. As we know, it's hard to beat a team twice in one season. So, who do you think will win
Uh,
this
I,
Saturday?
I, I think Georgia will do it. I think Georgia will win and beat
Yeah,
Texas. Um, honestly, yes, Texas has made it to the SEC championship, but it hasn't
yeah,
impressed me with
yeah.
their scheduling.
Mm-mm.
To me, I think they probably had one of the easiest paths to get to the SEC
Yeah,
championship.
yeah. Their hardest game was this past weekend. I mean, that
Hmm.
was if you love college football, that was a game and just an environment that you love to see. Texas A&M, they
Hmm.
know how to put on a show, and Texas kind of put it to them. But Texas A&M honestly is probably not that great of a team. I mean, they're good. I mean, they beat
Yeah.
Arkansas. They did really good in Elko's first year, but not you know But just when it comes down to big games, I'm taking Kirby Smart over
Oh, yeah.
Sarkeesian. But it is hard to beat somebody twice. So I think it'll be like a 3-point game. It won't be a blowout, but it'll be like a 3-point game. Hopefully a good one. Because, there won't be too much football on. So, with it
Yeah.
being championship weekend. So, what's your thoughts on the big debate is South Carolina, Ole Miss, and Alabama? What order should they be in? Should they be in the playoffs? Should they be in the top 12? You know,
Hmm. To me, Alabama doesn't deserve to be in the college football playoffs. Um,
yeah,
I think they're solely in there just because of the name Alabama.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
this is not a Nick Saban Alabama team.
Nope.
Um, you know, coming off 3 losses and one against Oklahoma. They lost to Oklahoma.
Whose offense was terrible until they played. Alabama. They finally figured out how to score.
I mean, we have a better conference record than Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Oklahoma has 2 SEC wins, and Alabama's one of them.
Yeah.
Ole Miss, to me, should have been in above them, even though, I mean, yes, they do have the same record. But Ole Miss's loss, the one that hurts them the worst, is probably Florida.
I would say Kentucky.
I don't know.
I mean, I know Florida was dealing with
Kentucky's pretty
quarterbacks.
bad. I mean,
Yeah.
But at that point in the season,
Yeah.
I
I mean,
guess,
at that point, everybody was like, yeah, Kentucky's Kentucky's defense. When Ole Miss played Kentucky, everyone was like, yeah, Kentucky has a elite defense, okay offense. So at the time, it wasn't like, I mean, it was a bad loss, but now since the season has ended, looking back at it, it's like us with Oklahoma State,
But you also got to look that they gave Georgia, a loss. I mean, they beat them 28-10. They didn't beat them just by like a field goal or a touchdown.
Yeah.
And Georgia's in the SEC championship game.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
South Carolina, I mean, that one's kind of tough. I mean, Alabama did beat them head to head.
Yeah, and
Ole Miss, and I mean,
both of them
back-to-back weeks beat them.
Mm-hmm.
To me, I think that knocks them out. Out of that little three-way tie right there.
Yeah. Yeah, I just think the argument is, Bama's losses are worse than maybe South Carolina's or even Ole Miss. But I think Ole Miss should be above Alabama. But here's the thing: don't go out and lose 3 games, and you won't be in this conversation.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's you can say that about any team though, but it just happened to be a 3-way, basically tie with their records.
Yeah, and with South Carolina, don't go out and lose. Ole Miss. I mean, you didn't score a touchdown against Ole Miss. They beat you 27-3. I mean, now I know people are like, well, they beat Clemson, who might win the ACC, and they're the hottest team right now. Well, is the committee looking at the hottest team or the best team? I don't know. Does it matter? Beamer brought this up. He goes, well, I guess a non-conference, we're not going to play those tough teams because, a loss hurts you. Let's just play some easy teams, pay them $1 million, go 4-0 in non-conference, and, win our conference games. So, I mean, I'm not a fan of Beamer, but I mean, if I was a South Carolina fan, I would be, yes, we deserve to be in there. You're the hottest team right now. Nobody wants to play you. You beat Clemson, but you also lost to Alabama and Ole Miss. I mean, if they're going to be put above Alabama and Ole Miss, then why play those games? Why play them? I don't know. It's a tough decision, but the committee is they're not very consistent.
Yeah, I mean, if South Carolina doesn't choke against Alabama, this is a different conversation.
Yep.
They don't choke against them or choke up against LSU like they did.
Yeah. And you remember the LSU game, there were some questionable calls with the referees. If things go their way, they're easily in the top 12.
I know but it makes me kind of want the playoffs go back to 4 teams, and this wouldn't even be an issue.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, if you expand it, guess what? You're gonna have the same problem with somebody else further down the line.
I mean, you could expand it to 50 teams, and there'll be a debate on team 50 and 51. It's always going to be there. But like like a lot of people said, don't you have no room to talk if you lose 3 games. I mean, in this day and age, you can lose 1. Losing 2, it's questionable, but when you get to that 3rd one, you just have to, wherever the cookie crumbled is basically where you.
Oh yeah,
where you got to be.
South Carolina, yes, is the hot hand right now, but you got to look at their overall season. That's the point
Yeah.
of everything is how did you do the entire season, not are
Yeah.
you hot right now?
Yeah. And I hate the CFP commissioner or president, whatever he is. I forgot his name, but talking about, well, the results of this weekend won't have too much of an effect. So, I mean,
He's
if
basically
Clemson,
telling us that it's already
yeah,
predetermined.
yeah. So if Clemson does win, that doesn't help out USC,
Hmm.
even though they beat them at
Yeah.
Clemson. But yeah, but the bracket, to me, the bracket set up. I think, if I remember correctly, I think you want to be the 5 seed because you end up playing like SMU, and then the next week you'll play Boise State, who has a bye week. Which I'm not down in Boise. I mean, we all like the underdogs, but for them to get a bye, it's just, I don't know. It just doesn't sit right with some SEC fans. I mean,
Yeah.
I could care less. I mean, it is what it is. Arkansas is not in it, so, and I'm not really that person that has to root for the SEC. If I don't like you, I'm not going to root for you.
Yeah. I mean, my thing is, but if Georgia beats Texas,
Yeah,
are
twice.
they not? I mean, are they not going to jump Georgia over Texas?
I mean, well, yeah, well, they should. I don't know if they will.
I mean, they should. And that would give Georgia the
Mhm.
bye instead of
Yeah,
Texas.
yeah. What I don't like is when Georgia lost, they dropped like 8 or 9
Yeah.
spots. Ohio State loses to a bad Michigan team,
Hmm.
and they only dropped, I think, 4 or 5 spots.
Yeah. I wonder how much of this is them protecting the big names to draw in people to
Mm.
come see the games and watch the games.
Yeah, Wes Pruitt has brought up that he doesn't think acting ads should be on the committee because they have a lot of influences.
Hmm.
It should be people that know football,
You mean
but
almost kind of like the BCS?
yeah, like the computer. Yeah, put them in a computer and let them wherever the chips lay. Hey, Arkansas was good in the BCS era. I think we should we should go back to it. We should go back to it. There was a picture. It's like random hog pictures on Twitter. It's like they were showing the BCS poll, and we were like ranked 6 or something. And yeah, yeah. What a time! What a time to be alive
Oh
back then.
yeah. Now we're just glad to be 6-6.
Oh yeah, we're glad to be 500. But I don't know. I don't know. But we'll see what happens. Regardless, some fan base is going to be pissed off, and somebody's going to be really happy.
Yeah.
Um, so, so, but yeah, it's the last. Well, not the last weekend of football, but it's conference championship here at 4 Star. I think Wes told me they got credentials to the Frisco Bowl. That's where Memphis is going. So we'll be covering that. Hopefully, whatever bowl game we go to, we can potentially get credentials. We'll see. But anyways, we'll see y'all sometime next week. We don't know when because the holidays it gets a little crazy, and basketball season is starting, and for high school and
Hmm.
all these things we got to do around the holidays. But yeah, just check out Twitter for any rumors and transfer portal additions and transfer portal. Kids from Arkansas entering the transfer portal. It's going to get wild and crazy like it does every year. Just don't believe everything you see right now.
Hmm.
But anyways, for Jason, I'm Blake. And this has been the Hogs Happy Hour here on the 4 Star Sports